So tonight we just want to continue a conversation. Tonight we're going to finish the conversation that we started a few weeks ago. That conversation being about assignment. Week one, we talked about identity. And it was then that we discovered that before you start doing a thing for God, you need to know who you are. It makes no sense to start doing things when you have no clue about who you really are. You'll waste a lot of time proving to people what's already settled. There's no point in that. Week two, last week we didn't physically meet, but if you were on the prayer call, my goodness, we learned about burden and calling. It was discovered that burden is actually the pressure or the weight that you feel to do what God called you to do. And calling is, in fact, the place you have to go as well as the timing in which you have to get there, right? So we learned that we're not called to Love Nation. We're equipped here. So you're not called to the place that you're equipped in. You're called to go out, right? And Pastor Bennett touched on that Sunday when he was speaking. You have to go out. And going out means you're reaching the world. Jesus told the disciples, go ye into all the world. He didn't say go from church to church. He said go ye into all the world. So tonight, we talked about where we go and, the burden. Tonight, we want to take up the conversation of, all right, so what do I do now? Right? We want to finish the conversation by starting, what do I do now? Romans chapter 1. We've been on one verse for 3 weeks. Romans chapter 1 says, Paul, a servant of God, a servant of Christ Jesus, called to be an apostle and set apart for the gospel of God. Tonight, it's about the gospel. Tonight, it's about the gospel. Question is, well, what do I do now? It's not so much that I don't know that I'm supposed to do something. It's more so I just don't have the confidence or the know-how to do. So, Josh, how do I understand my assignment? It's a real question. How do I understand my assignment? How do I do what God has called me to do? These are the real questions that we have when we leave here that we refuse to ask. So I'm going to help us tonight, and I'm going to answer them for us. All right? So those questions again are, how do I understand my assignment? That's one. And then two, how do I do what God called me to do? Y'all ready for the answer? Are you for real? You ready? I'm trying not to move around, so I'm trying to sit down. But I'm excited. You ready for the answer? If you're ready for the answer, say yes, I'm ready for the answer. You got your pen and notepad ready? Because I want you to write this answer down. I promise it's good. And I promise you heard it 50 times, 11 times. Especially if you come from the Kojic church. You ready? The answer to how I understand my assignment and how I do my assignment is one word: yes. I'll say it again. The answer to the question, how do I do my assignment, how do I understand my assignment, is yes. Now, I hear you. You say, Josh, I said yes before. I've said yes, Lord, 1,000,000 times. But this yes has to be different. Somebody asked me, how is this yes different? That chair's going. I'm sorry. How is it different? This yes is different because when we told him yes the last time, we still went to try to figure it out. This yes requires you to completely do away with leaning to your own understanding. This one is not a yes and a comma. This is a yes and a period. This yes has to be yes, period. That's it. It's not, yes, I need to figure this out. It's not, yes, how do I do this? Let me develop a plan. It's just simply what? Yes. Period. Period. It's yes. I understand now why when I was a kid going to the shut-ins and I would walk into church and I would hear the mothers saying, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Save my children. Yes, Lord. Pay my bill. Yes, Lord. I didn't understand. I just thought it was for show. I really did. I thought it was for show. Until life hit me. And then I found myself in a place where all I can say is, yes, Lord. And what the saints were doing that I didn't know they were doing, where they were reminding themselves, God, you said this, yes. 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 I don't know how it's going to get paid, but yes, Lord. I don't know. I don't have the money, but yes, Lord. I don't know how my family going to come together. Yes, Lord. I don't know how my son going to stop doing drugs. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord has to be your only resolve. Woo! Yes, Lord has to be your only resolve. Josh, how you going to do it? Yes, Lord. How you going to do it? Yes, Lord. What we have to admit to tonight is that the only thing that's been in everybody in this room's way causing stagnation is ourself. That's something we have to admit. Everybody in this room has stood in their own way. Everybody, myself included. And here's how I can tell that. Because of the excuses that we make. We say, I can't do this because I got this, and I can't do this because I have this, and I can't do this because I don't know this. What that tells me is you're relying on your own strength. And as long as you rely on your strength, you're going to be stagnant. Oh, you know all the answers. You can get to 3 million ways, but you never show up to do nothing. You won't come to Sunday school. You won't come to church meeting. You won't join the choir, but you got so much to say about the praise team. You won't join. You won't do nothing. You won't sign up for a ministry. We're having a ministry for March 1st. Be encouraged. You won't do anything, but you got so much mouth. And you're angry all the time. Woo, God, I love your word. You're angry and frustrated all the time because you got potential energy, but you won't use it. You have all this stored up God-given energy, but you refuse to use it. You refuse to use it. Say out loud with me, I got something to do. I've got something to do. Yeah, you do. The other part of the definition that I love, it says, this energy is given to a body solely by the virtue of its position. What that's saying is, where I am, just because of where I am, I have potential to cause impact. Solely based off of where I am. Didn't we learn last week that where I am is the call of God? So me just being in my calling means that I have potential to make impact. I have potential to make impact. I ain't got to do nothing yet, just from me being in the right place. Remember 2018? I know a lot of y'all just joined. I've been here coming up on 3 years in May. That'll be my 3rd year. Coming out of 2017 into 2018, the Lord told Apostle that was the year of our rightful place. Right? Y'all remember that? It was the year of our rightful places. You can't throw words away. You really can't. This thing blessed me today. I'm telling you. You can't throw words away. It says 2018 was the year of our rightful place. And the scripture was Revelations, come up here, and I'll show you what must take place after this, right? Here's what happened. We got elevated to the right place and started doing the wrong things. Ooh-wee. We got elevated to the right place and started doing the wrong things. So then 2019 comes. And we bucking and shouting because December 31st, Apostle said, this is the year of endless possibilities. So God had to come encourage us because we had gotten stuck doing the wrong things that we had lost faith in doing the right things. So God had to come back and say, no. You can really do anything. So then we got in trouble again in 2019. Got in trouble. And God said, you've gotten stuck and you've gotten comfortable, and watch this, fearful. You got fearful, so what you do is you just stare and look and envision the possibility of what you could do. And you never put foot to it. God help me tonight. You never put foot to it. So you spent a whole year saying, oh yeah, I can do that. Oh, I know I can do this. I know that I can do this. Oh, I tried this and it worked. But that's the only place it went. But I've come tonight to declare to you that God just pushed us from potential energy to kinetic. Okay. So I'm about to do the thing y'all love me to do, and that's tell story, right? Y'all remember riding bikes? How many people rode a bike? Y'all remember riding bikes? Riding bikes was real boring as long as you was on a flat path. It was too much work. It's too much work. You got to pedal too much, and God forbid you pumping somebody. You carrying your weight and then the weight of your friend, and all my friends was fat. So, I was the smallest one. So you just, you're exerting all this energy. And then you get, I don't know if y'all was a daredevil like me, but you get to a hill. And going up that hill, man, you like, nah. And now you like, And you get to the top of the hill, and what do? You just look. Right? Because if you were smart, as bad as I was, I knew not to go down a hill that I ain't seen how deep it was. Right? My cousin Jacob and I, we was bad. We took the ironing board and went down the stairs, sliding down, and put a big old hole in the wall. It was bad. In the back of his house, my favorite cousin, back in his house, he had a ditch. And, we was boys, and, we was the true definition of boys. We going outside. Like, we about to light the grass on fire, do all that stuff. Well, we started riding bikes down this ditch. But before we ever went down, we stopped and we looked. How deep is this going to be? Because the steepness of the hill lets you know how fast you were going to go. The steepness of the hill lets you know how fast you were going to go. So we're at the top of this hill. And what's that? That's potential energy. It's knowing I feel his presence. It's knowing what I have the potential to do, but I ain't done nothing yet. Right? I haven't done anything yet. So we're at the top of this hill, and what you have to do is make a choice. That's as simple as this is. Right here at this moment, all you have to do is make a choice. Go. Because even at bare minimum, just because I'm at the top of the hill, if I do bare minimum, I'm going fast. So now I'm up at the top of the hill. I hear the Jefferson theme song. Took a whole lot of trying to get up that hill. But now we're up in the big leagues, getting our turn at the bat. We've moved on up. So it's been prophesied to us countless of times that we got promotion. Oh, God, I love your word. We've gotten promotion, right? Promotion wasn't given to us for us to be pretty. We didn't move from 1,000 square feet to 30,000 square feet to be pretty. if you pay attention to the impact that we had at 1,000 square feet, God said, I didn't move you here to be pretty. I moved you here so that you could cause greater impact. This is about impact. But I'm scared. And because I'm fearful, I stay at the top of the hill full of potential energy when the only thing that's going to push me into kinetic energy is a choice. Okay, let me tell you what kinetic energy is, because y'all ain't giving it to me tonight. Kinetic energy is energy which a body possesses by virtue of being in motion. It is defined as the work needed to accelerate a body of given mass from rest to its stated velocity. All right. So, kinetic energy, having gained this acceleration, it does not stop unless the speed changes. What God just said to you is you've been worried about momentum. God, help me. You've been worried about losing momentum. He says you don't have to worry about that no more, because the place I put you in up top, the bare minimum, you're going to go fast. And when you went down the hill on that bike, what stopped you? You. You would have not stopped unless you stopped yourself. God said this time, he said this time, I'm going to let you go till you get tired. He said this time, I'm going to let you go until you stop. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to stop you, because the potential energy, remember, is given to us just by the position that we're in. Kinetic is a yes. Josh, how do I go from being full of potential energy to actually doing something? A yes. Period. All right. So, if Pastor Bernie Mac was here, he would say, bust a move. Bust a move. What are you going to do? The answer has been simplified. God has never required you to figure it out. Never. All he said was say yes and leave it alone. Say yeah. Just say yes. Everybody shout yes. Everybody shout yes. So last night, I had a dream. Real Martin Luther King-ish, you know. I had a dream, and we left MIT last night, and I told Keith. Keith came to me and said, Josh, have you watched All American yet? That's one of our favorite shows. We like it. And I said, no, I ain't watched it. So I had every intention to go home, watch All American. I was going to eat some ice cream with some sprinkles, because that's my thing. And it didn't happen. I fell asleep. So I had a dream, and in this dream, I was invited to like a kickback, right? And at this kickback, they playing games and all that stuff. It's like a real game night. And in the place, I don't remember if it was a house or an apartment or not, but in this house or whatever it was, they were playing this game where you throw the tennis ball and you catch it with the little thing. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So they had the little mitt, and they gave us cards, and they expected us to, play the game. So we were losing. And we were losing because we didn't have the resources. God. All right. So we were losing because we didn't have the resources. So eventually, I got fed up because I don't like losing in real life, so I sure don't like losing in my dream. So I went to my car. I said, hold up, I'm coming back. I went to my car, and I went and got the mitts out of my trunk. Come back in the game room, and we start playing again. And now that I have the resources, we're winning, right? We're winning. And then, so I came back in the room, and my confidence was up. Because I was like, oh, I got this now. Y'all time is over. You're done. Then there was a guy sitting at a table. don't know who the guy was, but there was a guy sitting at the table, and I pulled out a deck of playing cards, and I slapped it on the table. You know when when you got that good stuff on you, you just slap it. Hey, come on, let's ready. I'm ready for you. So we sat down to play spades, and spades is a game of strategy and partnership. So we sat down to play spades, and I'm winning. And I was excited about this because at the Super Bowl thing, Apostle and Ruth, my God, they defeated me. You understand? That I left here so defeated. So I was winning in the game, and everybody that was sitting down at the table to play against me and my partner, I was kicking them off the table. Get off my table. Get off my table. Get off my table. So I woke up, and I was excited. And I went to make a Facebook post this morning, trying to be funny or whatever. And as I'm typing it, revelation hits me. And I said, okay, wait. I said, God, what is this? And he starts talking to me, and I'm like, okay, wait, God. What does this mean? And as he's talking, I'm seeing this dream. And I said, what is this? And he says, Josh, son, you know what it feels like to do the work and still lose. He says, Josh, you know what it feels like to put your best foot forward and still get knocked down. He said, you know what it is to write the book that everybody told you to write and they don't buy it. You know how it feels to do the best work you can do and still end up losing. And I said, okay, yeah, I do, God, but what you talking about? And then he said, Josh, what I'm telling you is the table just turned. I said, because I'm a little slow in the morning, especially in the morning. I said, God, what you mean the table just turned? He said, Josh, in the dream, you were losing because you didn't have the resources. But you got the resources and you started winning. He said, I just flipped the script. And I said, what are you talking about, God? He says, Josh, losing was hard, but winning is about to be real easy. Okay. He said, Josh, losing was real hard, but winning is about to be real easy. Shout back to me, it's about to be an easy win. Come on, say it like you got it. Say it with your chest. It's about to be an easy win. It's about to be listen, Linda. The power of life and death is in your tongue. It won't happen until you speak it. And you have to speak to the thing like you own it, like it's under your authority. So when I tell you to say it's about to be an easy win, open your mouth and say it's about to be an easy win. It was hard for me to come in here and shout when the eviction notice was on my door. It was hard for me to shout when my lights was turned up. Okay. All right. See, y'all trying to push the preacher out of me. No, we just talking tonight. It was easy. It was hard for me. It was hard for me to push through here. But baby, it's about to be so easy. Woo! Hey. I said, baby, it's about to be so easy. Do you believe it? Okay. All right. Woo! It's about to be so easy because all you have to do now is go, which is why when Pastor Bennett pulled me in the front and told me I got to give more, I didn't argue with him. I didn't even try to figure it out. I just said, okay. When he said, Josh, now bump your tithes up to 20%. I've been in my job for almost 4 years, and I've been making the same amount of money as I did when I didn't know nothing. They ain't gave me no increase, no nothing. Money ain't there. But I said, okay. He said, and then on top of that, because it's not all collective, it's on top of. And on top of that, I want you to get a check and write a $1,000 check. And on top of that, I want you to write a $10,000 check. On top of that, I want you to write a $20,000 check. And then on top of that, bump your capital campaign up to $5,000. I said, okay. And immediately after service, and I wish Evangelist Mia was here, immediately after service, I went and knocked on the door. She said, hey, who is it? I said, it's Josh. Yes, what do you need? I just need to bump up my capital campaign. That's yes with a period. I'm not trying to figure it out. It's yes. Woo, I feel the Holy Ghost. It's yes with a period. Not yes, comma. It's yes, period. Because that's where I stop. Because that's all you require from me. That's all you require from me is yes, period. All right. All right. All right. So let's get back to the text. Romans 1. He says, Paul, a servant of Christ Jesus, called to be an apostle. So we have identity, we have burden and call, and now we have assignment. This is all about assignment. We have assignment, and the assignment is the gospel. So Paul is given the assignment to bring the gospel to the same people he killed for. But not only to the same people that he was killing behind the gospel, but to the people that society said didn't deserve it. Paul had every right to say, God, I'm not qualified for this. They're not going to hear me. You know, he had every right to do that. But he said, okay, I'm going to go. I come to tell you tonight that the very thing you think disqualifies you is what God sits back and says, no, that's what I need. That's what I need. If you would just stop discounting yourself and get out of your own way and just say yes, period. God said, that's all I need from you is the... Okay. I'm really trying to keep it as a conversation. I'm really trying. But preacher is crawling up this leg right here. All right. Maybe if I sit down. All right. Okay. So you're not disqualified because of XYZ. Whatever your XYZ is, it qualifies you. So, that's assignment. So, I'm the kind of preacher, teacher, whatever you want to call it. What y'all love about me is that for as spiritual as I am, I'm human. So I said, God, how in the world can I get humans to see this? I said, you walked us through identity, you walked us through burden and call, and now you just told us that our assignment is just a simple yes. I said, God, how can I get them to see this? Can I get 4 volunteers real quick and then so we can go home? Come on. 4, I just need 2 men, 2 women, real quick. Okay, there's 2 women. I got 1 man, just one more. It don't matter who you are. Come. Come to Jesus. I feel like I'm doing an altar call. Come. Woo, this is good. I promise y'all I couldn't make this up if I tried. All right. You be Celie, you be Sophia, you be Mr., you be Hoppo. What did I just do? This is about to make so much sense, I promise. I gave them identity. Watch this. They didn't know what I called them up here for. They gave me a blind yes. Remember I told you last week that God didn't call you to a position. He called you to a problem. I had a problem because I didn't have 4 people. I put a call out, and they said yes blindly. Period. It was when they told me yes that they got their identity. Hey, Apostle, I didn't see you. It was when they told me yes blindly that they got their identity. I'm going to take it a step further. All right. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Don't look at this. Just keep it turned over. Woo. Keep it turned over. Keep it turned over. What did I just do now? What did I do? I gave them something. What do you call something that's given to you? A gift. I just gave them gifts. I'm really about to run. I just gave them gifts that they didn't ask for. But I can assure you, oh, here we go. What I just put in their hand is going to help them complete the assignment. What I just put in their hand is called a script. Turn it over. What I just gave them is called a script. And the script, watch this, although it's a gift, that's not their assignment. It's the resource. Okay, so I'm going to say this to y'all. I want y'all to do this and be great. What did I just put on them? Burden. I just placed a burden on them. So God is the producer. The producer, you see, I'm theater all day. I'm actor. That's me. So when God gave me this freedom, I said, oh, here we go. God is producer. And the producer gets credit because that's the one that put all the investment in it. So producer makes all the decisions because the producer is the one that put the financial backing behind it. He said, I bought you with a price. Okay. All right. So follow me. Who did I say? You were Celie. You were Sophia. Okay. Sophia, I want you to go over there. Celie, I want you on this first step right here. Mr. and Hoppo, I want y'all right here. Okay? What did I just do? What did I just do? What did we talk? What was the second part of what we talked about last week? Calling. I just gave them calling, right? The director comes and he gives them blocking. He tells them where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. That's call. That's call, right? So let me talk about the director. If God is the producer, then that means those that he gave to set watch over our souls is the director. And here's the thing about acting with directors. They're not the nicest people. Oh, I'm about to bust up a devil here. So you've been asking, why she always fussing? You've been asking, and I promise we ain't talked. You've been asking why she always got an attitude with us. Here it is. The producer has given director instruction of where this production has to be and the timeline it has to be there. So when you show up to rehearsal and you ain't used your gift to learn your lines, you're ill prepared. So now we're wasting time trying to get you memorizing your lines. You feel me knocking? Well, let me in. We're spending all this time trying to catch you up. When the director knows, I got a set time with you. I have a set time with you. So, because the truth of the matter is, the time we had last year, we don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. So he's giving them direction. They have the burden. Oh, God. They have the burden, and the burden is do excellence. So how do I do excellence? That means, I'm about to get in trouble. That means I don't wait till I get on the stage to look at my stuff. I don't wait till the last minute. I don't even wait till the night before to look at my stuff. I have to do my due diligence when nobody sees me. You want to know how this message came about? I said, God, because I did a study last year about spiritual gifts, because I just wanted to understand spiritual gifts. So I finished my study on spiritual gifts December 31st. And I said, okay, what's next? So I say that's the foundation. So then I wanted to read about gifted people. So now my study is Romans and Corinthians, because they were gifted churches, right? So I just started Romans, and I read verse 1, and I got paralyzed. Because, like I said, day one, Most people just see that as that's scripture we can throw away. We just gonna go past that. What I saw when I first saw that was a template. I literally saw a template on how to complete assignment, because I'm telling you, at the beginning of this year, assignment was on me heavy. And I said, God, what is this? I read that and I said, okay. And just as I was in my prayer room, Apostle sent me a note and said, hey, you're teaching Bible study on February 5th. I just fell out on the floor laughing. So they have their call, but they haven't operated in assignment yet. They are still at potential energy. They don't move into kinetic energy until they do their assignment. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you. Thank you. So the question becomes, I'm going to sit down again. I'm done being hyped. The question becomes, well, Josh, what is my actual assignment? He said, you gave me a blind yes. I chose you. You didn't choose me. You just gave me your yes. It's the difference. We think because we told God yes that we can coerce him. No. You gave me a yes. I own you. But I just needed your yes, because I'm not going to force myself upon you. Say this with me. The assignment is presentational. All right. Let's go back to school. For some of us, it's a lot longer than others, but hey, we encouraged. Let's go back to school. Oh, God, I love your word. When your teacher gave you a homework assignment, the very next morning, what did you have to do? Turn it in. What is that called? Presenting. You only get credit for the assignment when you present it. What did he say? He said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you do what? Present your bodies a living sacrifice. That means be open and available for whatever I want you to do. That means whatever I ask you to do. Your response is what? Yes. Period. So the assignment, watch this, is not just presentational, but it's the presentational excellence. Because you can you can present something that's not excellent. Come here, Cain. And Cain thought, if I eliminate my competition, then I'll get a better grade then. So we think if I destroy my brother and sister, I'll get a better grade then. The assignment is presentational excellence. Where'd you get that from, Josh? The Bible says, study to show yourself approved, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's what it says. It's in there if you ain't tore it out. Even if you tore it out, it's in another one. You be encouraged. So, the assignment is not just presentation, but it's presentational excellence. And that's why we've been under the order that we've been under, because we got comfortable just presenting something and not giving a care if it was excellent. And God says, no more of that. That day is over. Because for you to cause greater impact, You can't stay at the 8850 level. I know we loved 8850, but it's time to grieve and move on. Cherish it. Put it in the secret places of your heart. But let's move on. Because there is much more. To whom much is given, much is required. We're trying to handle the much with the 8850 mentality. Oh. I just went down. Everybody wrote. We're trying to handle this entire building like it's 8850. Not gonna work. So, and I'm about to close. Ask me, say, Josh, who me? Say, how do I get a good grade? How do I get a good grade? I'm glad you asked. Romans 1, verse 8. This is a foolproof way of getting a good grade. Romans 1, verse 8 through 17. Again, I read this and I said, woo, this is it. Romans 8 says, first, I thank my God through Jesus Christ for all of you. Let's put a pin there. First place, the first point in getting a good grade is you got to stop hating your assignment. I said it. You got to stop hating your assignment. Your assignment is not punishment. Your assignment is given to you because God says, I trust you, fool. I trust you. So why are you walking around mad? Because, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to go pray. I got to fast. I got to read my word. I almost said something, but first thing, I got to thank God for my assignment. That's rule number one. If you ain't been thanking God for your assignment, repent today. Your assignment is not a curse. That's number one. Watch this, because assignments, again, aren't given to position. They are given to those of us who are in destiny. So if you have an assignment, it means you're right on the path of destiny. Assignments are only given to you when you are walking in your calling. What is calling? Being in the right place at the right time. We call that destiny. All right, I'm going to move on because you want me to turn on. Let's go to same verse, B clause. He says, I'm thankful because your faith is being reported all over the world. Rule number 2, celebrate what you're assigned to, even when you don't have a hand in it. You know, I'm called to entertainment. I know it is. I know it. So when people are getting Grammys, when people are getting Oscars and diversity is being done on sets, I rejoice. Because what that means is when I get there, I won't have to do that work. So celebrate it. All right, let's move on. Verse number 9. It says, God, whom I serve in my spirit, is in preaching the gospel of his Son, is my witness how I constantly, what? Remember you. Watch this. Your assignment should constantly be a burden in your mind. It should always be on your mind. It's always on your mind. There should not be a day. I'm telling you, there's not a day that goes by. That's why I tell people my mind, I have so much on my mind, because there's not a day that goes by that what I'm assigned to do is not on my brain. Right? So if it ain't on your brain, check your assignment, check your calling, check your position. Because you're the one in there, not God. All right. Number 10 says, in my prayers at all time, and I pray that now, at last, God's will, by God's will, the way may be open for me to come to you. Here's 2 things. The burden is not only in your mind, but it's also in your prayer closet. If you're not praying for the place you're assigned to, woo, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Prayer is the thing that tills the ground. It makes the rough places plain. Second part of that is, I'm about to get in trouble here. I pray that now, at last, by God's will, the way may be open for me to come to you. The only way you can make impact is if you show up. The only way you can make impact is if you show up. You can't be called to something and barely show up. You can't. Verse 11. He says, I long to see you so that I may impart to you some spiritual gift to make you strong. Your longing and your assignment should be driven by your want and need to make it better, not to become famous because of it. You should not want to use your assignment to build a platform for your name. Sorry. And you especially shouldn't use somebody else's platform that they work for to build your name. I digress. All right, number 12. Good night, Apostle. Number 12. He says, that is that you and I, this is my favorite one, that you and I may be mutually encouraged by each other's faith. Somebody shout reciprocity. Somebody shout reciprocity. Me doing my assignment shouldn't drain me. Me doing my assignment should not drain me. As I pour, I should be getting full. It's reciprocity. Iron sharpens iron. It does not say one piece of iron makes the other one sharper and then you go dull. We're here for each other. Yeah, it's good. It's in the Bible. It is. Vanna White. Boom. I ain't said, don't be mad at me. All right, 12. Oh, yeah, that's it. That was it. 13. Uh-oh, here's the one. I do not want you to be aware, brothers and sisters. Let's stop. Paul does not talk to his assignment like it's strange to him. He becomes family to it. He calls them brothers and sisters. Watch this. He puts himself in the same line as them, which says, I can't just dictate to you. I got to get in the trenches with you. So if you're a leader and all you want to do is, hey, go do that, go do that, go that, you're not fit. Sorry. Nice title, enjoyed you, but you're not fit. If you're not willing to get in the trenches with people that you work with, and the problem is you treat them as coworkers and not family. We have got to become family. This family has got to be that fist. Paul establishes family with his assignment. Let's read verses 14 through 17. He says, I am obligated both to Greeks and non-Greeks. For all you sorority and fraternity people out there. Both to the wise and to the foolish. Here we go. When you have real assignment from God, it's not impartial to the people you like. When you have real assignment, because real assignment is the gospel. I'm sorry, Bishop Carlton Pearson. There's no gospel of inclusion. The gospel is inclusion. So if what you do in God's name is divisive and segregated, I'm sorry, baby, to inform you. You've been working for another God. It's not my Jesus. Sorry. Good work, though. You can't be impartial, and you don't withhold from others because of the groups that they're in. You can't do that. We are all God's children. Black, white, red, Puerto Rican, drive a foreign car, drive a hoopty. We all belong to God. And the reason you can't be segregated in your assignment because God is not segregated. So how do you have the gall to say, I'm of God, but I'm going to withhold myself from you? When John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that so whosoever. Who wrong? All right. I know the Bible is right. Somebody wrong. Bible is right. Watch this. But he also says, I'm obligated to both the Greek, this is my favorite one. I'm obligated to both the Greek and the non-Greeks, which means if I'm called to you, I have to speak your language. I have to speak your language. It does not mean I change my message. It just means I change my language. Oh, here we go. There are spiritual gifts. There's a gift that says, the diversities of gifts of tongues. We only chalked it up to mean. Day of Pentecost, they were speaking tongues of men. They were speaking tongues of men. Languages. And watch this. I'm going to take it a step further. It don't even mean I got to go learn Greek. Love is a universal language. I can get an interpreter. But watch this. When I speak in the language of love, I go beyond this and I permeate your spirit. When we're talking to each other, we have to talk to each other like God talks to us, spirit to spirit. God don't talk to our flesh. He talks spirit to spirit. And when we do speak in heavenly language, it's spirit talking to spirit. Spirit is the revealer of all truth. So that means I have to speak to you. In one of my favorite scriptures, Paul says, I became all things to all men that I may draw. I can promise you, Paul didn't learn 11 languages. I became who God called me to be. And that took care of the rest. Amen. All right, let's turn on. Let's turn on. 15. He says, that's why I'm so eager to preach. That is why I am so eager to preach the gospel also to you who are in Rome. Next verse. For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to who? To everyone who what? Believes. First to the Jew, then to the Gentile. The gospel you preach should not shame people. It does not shame you, so you should not shame people. If the gospel was good for you, make it good for other people. If the blood was enough for you, there was no short change of blood. The blood that was good enough for me is the blood that's good enough for my mama and them, sister, cousin, uncle, auntie, everybody, all them. Gospel does not shame. Gospel, it convicts you, but it does not shame you. You can't call yourself a herald of the gospel and call yourself ashamed, watch this, to be around people who don't believe like you. That's contradictory. Actually, it's oxymoronic. Oh, I can't go eat with you because you don't believe in Jesus. What? Oh, I can't go eat because you don't go to my church. Oh, listen, I come from it. I know I'm right. Ain't nobody gonna make it in but us. We the only ones going to heaven.com. Oh no, what denomination are you? Oh no. Y'all say in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, we baptize in Jesus' name, but all right, y'all be all right. It's minuscule. It's petty. It's not God. It's not God. All right. Whew. Next verse. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God, of who? Of God is revealed. Because the righteousness of man suggests that I got to jump through hoops and leaps and bounds to prove to you that God got his hand on me. Y'all stop wasting y'all time. He says, the righteousness, for in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed. What's that? A righteousness, whew, I love his word, that is by what? Faith. From first to last, just as it is written, the righteous will live by faith. Man's version of the gospel, throw it away. If it's not God's version, I don't want to hear it. Paul said, if any man preach a different gospel, let him be accursed. Go on over there with that. God enjoys faith. So if anybody's coming to you telling you have to do this and you have to pay this and you have to go walk on eggshells and none of them can crack, baby, stop. It's by faith that we achieve righteousness. The just shall live by faith. Shout to me, I've got something to do. And what's your answer? I'm done.